All right, guys, well, welcome back. Um, I've got some, they say Christmas comes but once a year. No, 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 it comes a lot more often. Especially here because I'm going to talk to you today about pick sets. Now, because I am the fucking absolute hero I am spending money to save you money. You, the guy watching this, or the girl watching this, or whoever you are watching this, so that you're not following in a lot of sort of beginner footstep mistakes. I have done a video on this before, but we've advanced things. And what I've done is, okay, over here, what sort of happened is I started off on a cheap Chinesium set of Takealot with 600 Rand. And then I sort of opened a few of these plastic locks, and yeah, I decided it was for me. And I really do advocate for that. The reason being is that they're very cheap. And if it's not for you because you ended up with a hole in the wall where you threw the lock, or a hole in the window where you threw the lock, or wherever you threw the lock, and decided that lock sport is not for me, you haven't lost a lot of money. Because let's face it, lock sport isn't cheap. And if you think you're just buying picks, you're not. You're buying everything else, and it can get a bit mental at times. So trust me, I'm actually doing this for you. Um, so what happened is I started off on the cheapo set, and then I went across to Sparrows because we have a local Sparrows dealer, and so I'm not paying for large amounts for shipping, and it's waiting long periods and import taxes and everything. I just buy for the guy's site was down for a while and that, and his stock replenishment was not really that great. And what happened is I started off with 0.6 mil picks, as we all do. So if you can see somewhere in here, is just your Euro hooks or shallow hooks, and in 0.6 mil. And then I bought a extra one that was one of these are zero point 0.4 millimeters. And I looked at this and I'm like, no, this is a bit flimsy. Hey, I'm gonna break this. And then I spent a lot of money on tensioners and these tension wrenches at pry bars, and these things that come are, are real. They're actually crap because the only thing that changes is the width. And as you can see, a lot of locks have got a lot of different widths. So even that the widest one just doesn't work in there, or it doesn't work in there. So the tension wrenches were not doing it for me. These pry bars were not doing it for me. Um, and really, tensioning is about 80% of this. And if you don't have the right tension wrenches, you're going to cry. Long tears, and you'll probably give it up because you're not coming right. And the guys in the YouTube videos, they make these videos, and they make the videos and they make it seem so simple. And it's not that simple when you're trying to do it. And then you think, well, shit, no, you know what? No. So this is where I was at, and I started reaching a peak with them. They stopped mostly 0.6 to find the stuff, and in 0.4 anything else. It just wasn't happening for me. They don't have it, and then I made one of the best investments I could make in Locksport, and that was the purchase of the multi-pick practice lock. And this thing is so beautiful. I mean, when I got it, I had it for hours, and I just held it in my hands and felt the machining. And look, this is not an easy pick to start off with. Um, you can see the bitting on that key. So I do keep one side original, and then the other side you can just change. You can see you can do progressive pinning and all that. And it comes with a whole lot of different mushroom, everything, all sorts of security pins. And the idea is to repin it and practice this and practice that. And what I realized from this lock, I realized two things. Firstly, most of the locks I deal with are Euro cylinders here in South Africa, and they take the same keyway. They have the same keyway, except not that one. but they're very similar, and you can see it's quite paracentric, it's quite tight. And what I learned almost immediately after buying this was that I could see not what's going on with the security pins, but what's going on with the pick. So when that pick is right in the back, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, you can see how it's interacting with the lock. Now, looking at that also, you're also going to see that I often hold a pick like this, because I'm used to when you're trying to pick these Euros, you can't really get it off the warding there. It's a lot easier to bring it in and go around. So oddly enough, holding a pick like that, I've never broken one. Never broken a pick, touch wood. Pardon me, it is a wooden table. So I am getting better at, prying it off the warding, but when I start getting towards the back, I do tend to change grips. So this is quite important for me. If I've had a long night of picking, you're going to see my fingers split in half. There's a huge callus there. But this lock, I've learned more about the behavior of a pick in a lock and where it's going and what it's doing and where I'm going wrong and why can I not pick this lock? It's because I didn't know what the pick was doing in the lock. So that was the problem. Now, guys, please just bear with me. This is going to be a bit of a long video, but it's hell of a worth the watch if you really want to save some money. So I got that, and I realized that in order for us to deal with South African locks, we mostly have stuff like this, or like that, or like that. Now that'll take a 0.6, that'll take a 0.4, that'll take a 0.6, that'll also take a piece of rebar, and or something like, I can reach that, which can work on 0.6. Then these are, I think, green belt ones or blue belt or whatever belt. So that I got, we don't get American locks here, we don't get a lot of them. I did get this online, and I thought, well, it's a really nice color, everything. I got it for the belt so you can pick and gut. I also have another one to gut, but our locks here are not guttable. A guttable lock is not really a thing. It's a very American thing that you can change cores and this and change pins and that. We don't. We cut the lock off, we throw it away, we put a new lock on. This is the Abus Lotto. So what I got for this was the 7440. And we don't have this in Master Lock. So I ended up with that in Abus, which is notoriously hard to pick. So I've been versickling with that for quite some time. Versickling is Afrikaans for struggle. And yeah, it hasn't really made my life easier. So from the Sparrows stuff, really, the tensioners are not great. These are not great. So remember, I bought the cheap Chinese sets. I bought a whole lot of stuff in Sparrows, and Sparrows is a lot of gimmicks. I do like it. You can get Parsoner, but it really just isn't quite there when it comes to quality. The only one that I do still keep is this little luggage lockpick. It's a tiny little fraction of a diamond on there. I can't even get focused just to get in and for those little ones. And that seems to work. I like the double peak and I like the triple peak. I'm not a Bogota fan, that I can tell you. And then I decided that I cannot get the stuff in 0.4 from Sparrows. I'm going to change to multi-pick. But I still retain some tensioners. And these are tensioners, also Sparrows. And what I got from multi-pick at that stage was I got the dental hook. These dental hooks in 0.4 and 0.6, use them quite a lot. I got the spoon. I got the car for the rake. I got a 0.4 millimeter Bogota. I'm not a Bogota fan, but this does quite well. And this just to see, how is multi-pick performing, and because this was not imported, this was still locally bought, and very expensive, but worth it. So what I then did was I decided it's time to up my game. So let's be done with that. And we've got that. And I went ordering. Now, we cannot get COVID instruments in this country. We cannot get Jimmy Longs in this country. And we are left with multi-pick. So there it is, and I've got to tell you, I'm a great fan of multi-pick. I find, let me put some light on here. That looks better. I find that the multi-pick stuff is hardened steel. It's very good. I've never broken one. And I decided that because in South Africa, you really are wasting your time for the most with a 0.5 mil set. So to get the triple gauge set is just a waste of money. You know, you're getting multiple picks and you're wasting money. And the other, you know, the elites and all that, this is a Sandman set. Sandman knows locks. He knows how to put a set together. I like his stuff. And a lot of guys have said to me, they've bought other sets and they've said, I should have gotten the Sandman set. So the Sandman set, I'm not going to go through each and every pick because there's a lot to get through, but I'm going to give you an overview. We all know the bag is great. We don't need to be talking about the bag because we all know it's great. I know these are great because I use them often, and I have the 0.4. It comes with a 0.6 mil rate, Bogota. Now, I'm not a massive Bogota fan, I can tell you that. I find these Christina Palmer wave rakes to be just outstanding. You know, you got the small quints and you got the large quads. I find that those can rake out for the most absolutely anything that needs a good raking. And if you don't come right with that, it's time to single pin pick. Yes, there are different rakes, and yes, you know, yes, you can, yes. But that is more than sufficient to rake. This is a lock sport kit. This is a lock sport kit that is put together for you, and you don't need to go buying more picks. This is sufficient for just about everything. So I was very excited to get it. Now I've got it, and it's got the flat tip, and I really enjoy the flat tips. It's just that we don't get Jimmy Longs here. From what I've seen from his, I thought let me try the flat tips that I had, and they were very successful. And then I got the Sandman extension kit on the flat tip in small, medium, and deep, and then I got the round tip in small, medium, and deep, all in 0.4, together with the other stuff that I got. And those now I keep as spares. So I've got spares of the stuff I use commonly, and then he's got the round tips, small, medium, and deep, everything in 0.6 and 0.4, and then he's got the round hook, small, medium, and deep, everything in 0.6 and 0.4. So that is really all you're going to need. A Bogota set is like opinions. Everyone's got one, right? I'm not a great fan of a Bogota. We are going to get onto other Bogotas that I am a great fan of. But it comes with a set, so let's not complain. Now, the set comes with the double-ended turning tools, which to me are pretty... they were very attractive in that they do taper down at the end here. So when you get them in the lock, and you've got a bit of room to move. And their width remains roughly the same, but it's the thickness that varies. So when it comes to thickness and tackling this huge Varo, I can go in there. Oh, well, I suppose you're supposed to go in that way. And I can now go in there. And so these are the double-ended Z wrenches, or whatever you want to call them. They're relatively long, and that's how you do it. Like, I don't do things normally, so sometimes when I'm changing my tension, I'm going to, let's do it that way, move my finger. But then sometimes, remember now, I'm picking down like that. So when I've got what would be for America top of the keyway, I add or remove fingers. Whatever works, you know, it's whatever works for you. So the length is fine for me. And I'm very fond of these Z wrenches, and I'm also quite, for the first time ever. Now these other kak ones, kak means terrible in Afrikaans. These will spend more time in the air than they've spent in a lock. So I'd all but given up on pry bars after that. And I got to tell you, the multi-pick pry bars that have come out with it are double-ended, the usual, different thicknesses, different widths, nothing fancy. And they actually work in a lock, you know. They spend more time in a lock than in the air. So that to me is successful. Purchasing this kit, I also went a little bit out and bought the Champion Tension Range. So what is that? That is designed by Christian Holler, also known as Decoder, to a lot of people on our LPU Discord server, which are just basic different thicknesses. It's just a little angled wrench. Now, what I was using only, and there's 4 of them, all different thicknesses. Some of them are different widths, I think, and they add in the bag like that. I love them. I absolutely love them because towards the end of my tenure with these relatively difficult to control tension wrenches, what I would do is just cut off the end like that and put it in there and be done. That's what I was doing. And so when I saw these, I was actually chatting to him on the messenger. These are designed by him, and I absolutely love them. So I bought these as an extra size. So I got myself the Sandman set. I thought, let's just buy the set and be done. And it's lovely. It's great. I'm not going to go into the individual picks. There's no need. You can see, you know what you're getting with it. And really, for South African locks, 0.6, 0.4 is what works. So that's what I made up from this from another set. And then I bought a couple of extra goodies. This has all arrived this week. So there's a lot of happiness in the lad. And we got us that. And okay, that's the triple peak. That's the extra Bogota. My luggage lock, that all goes in. This spoon I have done an individual video on because I've not been able to find one. And I've realized that there's a shortage of individual videos of the individual picks, which is why I would like to start and slowly making the videos for your individual multi-pick picks, starting with, I think, okay, the decoder we all know. So they actually threw in the decoder for free because it was over Christmas, so the order was taking a bit of time. And then we've got somehow this little one went in, which is it's the Bogota Elite. It's a monolith, and it's supposed to be for high-low bitting, but it didn't really come right. I don't know how it snuck into that order. I think it was on the wish list and off the wish list. I don't know. And then the Bogota Reina, which is for high-low bitting, and I actually want to do an individual video because we have a lot of BBL locks here. Now, BBL is a brand that is really quite good. It's decent in quality and it's decent in price, and it's not bad. They do have security pins, and they've learned to put gatekeepers on pin 1. So when I see BBL, I know I'm going to fight with that bitting. I know. And the euros, in fact, all their stuff is great, but the Reina works on it. So I actually want to do a video on that. And then we take it from there. And then I got myself a couple of key extractors because I've had a couple of keys stuck in locks. I mean, we're talking real world stuff. You know, this is where lock sport meets locksmithing. What we really, really need, doing. And then I got myself this little Y tension. It has an O-ring, which I've managed not to lose because I work on gate motors, as you can see. And those keys are lost all the time. A combination between this little Y tension, it's small, and it fits in the pick bag, it fits in like magic. And these little cam locks that we get on all the gate motors, let's pop it in there. These little cam locks, okay, in your pick bag, that's a beautiful thing. And this small wave rake, that's all you need for a cam lock or wafer lock. It's a small wafer lock. And I'm like almost daily having to pick those because the keys are lost. So that is my, well, another Christmas present. To me, that's the multi pick. And then, well, before we get on to that, to guts, and because I've got this, but I also have another quick set keyway, which is from my old lock which I had, and I opened it up and I saw it. Hang on, this has got a quick set keyway that I can gut and pin. But I was using a 12 mil round bar as a plug follower, and it works. But to use a tension range, a gut range, I got the American lock also for the belt, and you need a proper gut range to get that circlip off. So I went Sparrows on that because it's local, cheap, and quick. And this is all this week, yes. Got a set of plug followers, got a Sparrows gut range, which will do the job for the most, I think, on everything. And I got a screwdriver, which I ground down to fit in the box, and that is my gutting kit. This comes with pinning tweezers, so we set on that. They're in there, and so I'm golden for that. And then, thanks to my mate Clint, who stays in the States, I looked at the COVID instruments. I've been watching it all the time, and I've been thinking, you know what, fuck, uh, that Mactickler, I got to have me one of those. So I said to him, just look and see how much they are, because we actually can't get on the URL in South Africa. I'm looking for the Reaper set. You can only get the Mactickler with the Reaper set. And then I saw it's ordered, and I was like, okay, cool, let's get it. Ordered and paid for, and so I got it this week, and it's gold. Got a patch on there. Everyone talks about a patch, and I could never work out about a patch until I tried to open it the wrong way. Then I realized it was a patch, a Velcro patch. I don't know why, but it's fine. It can stay on there. And that's what you've got with the Reaper set. Is, again, I'm not going to go over each individual pick. I'm going to be honest with you, and a lot of guys are going to argue with me with it. You're going to argue with whatever. You know what works for me. Got some very fancy pry bars, very cliff looking. They like, I don't know, skulls and dragons, which looks great. But honestly, the simplicity of the multi-pick pry bars, they just do kind of work better for me. But it comes with Z ranges also, and these Z ranges are out of this world. The thing is, what we are not looking for as lock sporters, we're not looking for, who's got the best, who's got the high, who's this, that. We're looking for uniqueness, and the unique stuff is what counts. And this is a very, very unique set of Z ranges that goes in there, and when you pull it out a bit, it actually goes down, and you got a lot more space in that keyway to work. And on the top of the keyway, this is working like that. It's giving you a little bit more room here also. So I do find a lot of guys say they're a bit short, but remember now, I'm used to sliding finger, and I'm used to adding or subtracting fingers. So I can work around that because I have a different technique on each one. So I've got to tell you, to be paying $100 just with shipping and the set, shipping to South Africa, and then still some import taxes because I've been struggling with this lock. They're actually not that easy to pick out, and I got it just the other day. I haven't really had a lot of time to play with it, and I got my Mactickler because I see it in all the movies, and I put it in here, and I was like, yeah, okay. And I think on the second time I got it, I probably won't get it now because it's on video, and you don't get stuff locked. You don't get locks picked on video, and it's not a lock picking video. But I'm telling you, I got a couple of locks, like first time, second time. Whoop, there it is. It's open. Wow. Who would have thunk that? This is a great, great, great pick. So we have some unique picks here, and I'm going to tell you why they're very valuable for South Africans. Even though I said you only really need 0.4 and 0.6, it's got the basics in. It's got the Mac Tickler, which is worth buying it for anyway. Get it for the Mac Tickler. These tension wrenches, like I said, your tensioning is probably, to me, 80%, 70% of the actual picking of the lock. You have a lot of control with these. You do also have a lot of control with those R-pry bars that you can learn. These ones I've tried to learn, and they say just practice, and you know what? Those just go flying in the air. Those don't. They just don't sit as snug as multi-pick, but they don't go flying in the air. They're very good. They're a very good design. So I'm not like knocking off. We are dealing with like the world's best pick makers here and the world's best pick designers. And as far as I'm concerned, with Sandman, you're not going to go wrong. With Dakota, you're not going to go wrong, who was also a lot involved in the elite range. Christian Holler, Christina Palmer's Waves and all that, they've been around forever. We know that. And McNally on this. So I'm not knocking off the picks or the ranges. I'm just saying I prefer those, me personally. Then you get 3 picks in 0.5 mils. They are exactly 0.5 mils. They're 20 thousandths of an inch or 1 millionth of a washing machine. Fuck knows how these units work. I work in millimeters, and so does my micrometer. So that's how they're exactly 0.5. And just on these American locks, now I have done this a lot of great feedback with them. The only thing I don't have on these, and I cannot really get around, is that they are significantly shorter. So, like I say, I like to hold it like that. When I'm picking a lock, when I'm going in, especially for me, I like the flat tip. Now, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to put my tension wrench in, and because I'm not tremendously experienced, I don't like to use the round tip hooks. I think this is a little bit thick for this one. Nope, the round hooks, because I like to go in on top of the tension wrench until it stops. Then I go on top of that pin and I slightly depress the pin, and I move forward till it stops again, and then I'm on the second pin. And so I move forward and move forward, maybe just going down a little bit, especially with the serrated pins. So I can feel through this muscle memory forwards and backwards and see on my finger where I am in the lock. Now, because these are so short and they're quite pokey. Now, the pokey at the back here is quite nice because they go into a pick bag, much easier than a round one. Not so nice when you're holding it in your hand like that. I understand that I'm probably the only person who holds a pick like that. But also, if you're holding it the right way, it's going to get a bit cramped. You kind of have to hold it up like that. So I find that that's its only shortcomings. That it's beautiful. It's 301 stainless steel. I do work with stainless steel. I do stainless steel welding, and even drilling into it, you need specialized cobalt drilling bits. That's very hard. Not that the multi-pick isn't, because I've tried even filing those and just modifying. It's very, very, very hard. So these 0.5s are also quite good on a smaller lock like this, but you do need to have the room. It's strong enough for that. So, but if you're looking at like an American lock, so there are some locks that you do need this, but one of them is the American lock. This is a different animal. When you're doing lock sport, even if you're in South Africa, you're going to come across this cat. And the problem with this is that it requires so much tension to turn. A lot of folks say they picked it, they didn't realize they picked it because the core needs so much tension to turn. And the other thing is that the warding itself is very, very, it's got this ridge here, that one there. So you kind of have to go around, okay? So it's very much like a Euro cylinder, our Euro cylinders, and that you have to go around. So when you're going around, you're going to damage a 0.4 mil pick. And when you try a 0.6, it's too long. Your deep hooks don't work in the back. So a 0.5 mil is about the biggest you can go. So I think 18 thousandths of an inch to 20 thousandths of an inch is what's going to work on a the American series. So that's sort of what you need. So I think it's a great set. I mean, it's like, McNally Reaper. The rest of the stuff, it's all the same. I'm not even going to get into value for money just yet, but that's a Reaper set. It's a great thing on this. I'm going to do another video, so do keep subscribed and tuned. On a very good tip, now I've looked up, I look up all these things, and like you guys, I get frustrated when I YouTube. How do you pick an Ababus 7240 or 74 or whatever? And then the oak's like, sure, look, I opened it. And you're like, yeah, look, I'm going to throw my phone out the window because like I'm so tired of you now because I've been at this lock for 3 weeks and I'm getting nothing. So I'm going to show you a little trick that I learned in another video on how to learn to pick an American lock, which I think is a little bit hypocritical of me because I've actually never picked it. So I've just got it. And I think it's very pretty, and I've opened it and closed it and everything I've learned. And that's not where the Christmas even ended for me, because Multipick was so kind to throw in a box which I have lost in all of this. You see this, guys? See where I'm saving you money? Get all you need in your life. Multipick, Sandman, Advanced Set, COVID Instruments, McNally, Reaper set. That's all you need in your life. You don't need to go any further than that. These other little extras, a lot of them are toys. Be careful of them. I'm going to do videos, like I said, on the Rainer, which is great. The spoon, which is great. These lock picks that you don't find in a video. And if it's crap because I'm paying for it, I'm going to tell you it's crap. Don't get it. It's very much like the Sparrow's Medusa. The Sparrow's Medusa, I struggle to fit it in the boot of my car. There's no ways it's ever going to fit in that lock, Why are you buying it? I don't know, because all the reviews say it's so great. Well, you know what? It isn't. And the Rook and Knight and King and Queen, I don't know how big that lock is, but I'm telling you, this is the only lock I've managed to fit the smallest of them in, and that's a big lock. So I don't know how big the locks are in this country where that lock was designed, but they're probably the size of that printer over there, or I don't know. The stuff doesn't even make it into the naughty pick box. It goes into the drawer. So anyway, yeah, just to sort of round off, Multipick were kind enough to send me also. So not only did I get the decoder, and I've used one before, but it wasn't as good quality to open up combination locks, but also the Multipick keyring. Well, it's not a keyring, it's just a lanyard that you attach to your kit, but I put it on my keys. Now I'm a handyman and I'm working a lot outside. My keys get very, very badly handled, and I've had this thing on my keyring for a while, and I thought that is not going to hold, eh? And when I got it, I didn't read the instructions, i.e. look at the YouTube video. So I pulled this thing off first, and I realized you have to actually adjust it there. And then I couldn't figure out how to get it in. And then I watched the videos, and then they said, no, but you must slide it out. And there you can slide it out. And it comes with a selection, and it's beautiful. These are all very high quality picks that it comes with. And I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to make a keyring from it, and you can add and you can change picks, and I think it's beautiful. So thank you very much, Multipick, for that. This is it's a wonderful little thing, and like I said, I thought I was going to put it on the keyring, and then I thought, nah, 2 days and this thing is off, and it's like almost a week later, and that hasn't budged an inch. So it's definitely been Christmas for me, guys. But really, all you need, please stay tuned. Like I said, we're going to do single videos. And This is like, let's talk about money, right? Money, because that is a concern. When it comes to value for money, okay, this, and I'm talking about sent to me by the time it's arrived here, excluding import taxes. The When you're talking value for money, you can't really mention value for money in lock sport because everything is so expensive. But this is $100, you get 5 picks. Is it value for money? This is $150. You get a bigger leather case with a lot of stuff anyhow. So for an extra $50, you're getting a full lock sport range. But there's also uniqueness. These are not replicated by anyone else. So I would say if you've got a mate in the States, spend the money, get the Reaper set. That's the Reaper. It is a beautiful set, and definitely for the lock sporter, the multi-pick set, because it also has extra room for your extra picks that you are going to be getting, like the Christina Palmer spoon, the Raina rake. I'm sorry, a snake rake is so outdated, a city rake so outdated. These are new, improved rakes for new, improved locks. So, really, value for money. It's you're not comparing apples with apples. It's uniqueness, it's quality, it's well, we know the two together. So we're talking 250 US dollars, and that's you. We've got you covered. So, guys, thanks a lot for watching. And I hope you click on that like and subscribe. And if you're still watching, well, bloody done to you, because I'm probably quite boring, but that pretty much covers that, eh?